Here are my thoughts on the Arai Contour X. Coming in at $749.95 for Frost Black. Now, I don't want to sound too biased in this video because, as many of you know, I am a big fan of Arai. In fact, I own 2 Arai helmets, both Defiants. Here's one of them now. So I'm going to be as objective as possible. So in general, why do I like Arai helmets? They're comfortable, great airflow, they're handmade shells, and I like the round looks. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So now let's take a closer look at the Contour X. Now, starting with the top air vents, Arai has still maintained its dual air vents on the very top, but has been able to reduce the size, while still making it easy to open and close. In addition, very similar to the Corsair X, there is a third airflow. It's hidden right beneath the Arai logo in the center. Now, one thing I will say that I really like about those top new air vents is that they are so much easier to use. Now, don't get me wrong, the air vents on my other old Arai helmets are great. See me and check it out. Like, it's pretty low profile, so that your hand could, you really have to work it in there just to find it. Work it in there just to find it. That doesn't sound right. Sorry. So with these new Arai top air vents, it's so much easier to open and close the air vents on the top, even with gloves on. And let's not forget the brow airflow. Always a fan favorite. Almost forgot. The mouth airflow. Also very easy to use. And it's a huge air vent. It actually reminds me of my Defiant. I mean, look how much bigger that control is for the front airflow versus this little switch. But I still love my Defiant. Now let's look at the exhaust ports. Now, very similar to my Defiant, the Contour X has 3 exhaust ports, one underneath the rear spoiler and the 2 on the bottom. The bottom ones help create the Venturi effect, which pulls the hot air while you're moving. Now, the top rear exhaust, you can open and close, but the bottom 2 exhausts always remain open. Now, the rear exhaust has 3 positions: closed, halfway, and fully open. Of course, let's not forget that rear spoiler. Now, this rear spoiler not only helps with aerodynamics, but adds to that aggressive look, if that's what you're into. As for the visor, it's the same VAS V that we've seen in all the X models, which are pin lock ready. Now let's take a look at the internals. Not too much has changed, pretty much the same nose guard, brow airflow intakes. The most notable thing is a little bit wider in the front for easier access of your head, making putting on my helmet a magical experience. Honestly, in my opinion, I think Arai has the best liner system out there. They use something called the facial contour system, which was actually developed from their Formula 1 riders. I mean, it really molds to your head. Like most modern helmets, the liner is easy to remove, so that way you can wash it. Please don't forget to clean your liners. Now, the Contour X is an intermediate oval, but in case you need some finer adjustments, Arai offers removable foam. In addition, it has adjustable straps in the liner, so you can fine-tune it some more. Now, in terms of making adjustments, by utilizing the foam, you just remove right here. So as a note, before you make any final adjustments, or any adjustments, wait till you use the helmet for a bit. If after the break-in period, it still feels weird, then make the adjustments by removing some foam or tightening the top headliner. So these are all things as to why I like the Contour X. Now let me give you my thoughts at the opposite side of the spectrum. I'm not a fan of how they put the logo on the front. I mean, it's cool how they utilize it as part of the air vent, but it looks like a big old badge. I mean, with my other Arai helmets, the logo just looks more clear. And sometimes there are customers, they don't want to feel like they're advertising for the company. And I get it. I mean, I remember with some older Arai helmets, some of the logos were black and they were actually removable. So I feel like that's a cool option. On top of that, although that top center air vent is unique how they hid it within the logo, it's not that easy to use while you're riding. I mean, the fact that you have to kind of reach to the top of your head to kind of pull on it is not very convenient. So you kind of have to make a decision of how you want your air vent before you ride. But things change. People change. Another thing I'm not a big fan of is the rear spoiler. I mean, I get it. It's extremely functional, but this is just me. This is the vain side. I still want to have that cafe racer kind of look, which a round helmet serves. And that's why I actually picked an Arai. The round design kind of gives it a more retro look, but with the rear spoiler, not so much. It makes me feel like a fast boy, which I'm not. I mean, I ride a scrambler for goodness sake. And I know this is stupid, but I'm also not a fan of what they did on the internal shell. And what I mean by that is that after you remove the liner, the EPS foam finishing, or lack thereof. I mean, to be honest with you, I was pretty surprised after taking out the liner for the first time and noticing it was just a plain white unfinished EPS foam. It made it seem kind of cheap. I don't know, maybe that's just me. One thing I always appreciated with Arai helmets, I always appreciated how the EPS foam finish was painted black. Not only does it look more premium, but in the event you drop your helmet, or God forbid you get in a small accident, and you're trying to see if your helmet's been compromised, by having the EPS foam painted black, it makes it easier to see any cracks, because underneath it is white EPS foam, making it so much easier to find any weaknesses or damage in your helmet. But beyond that, I think the Contour X is an excellent choice. I mean, I'm just kind of nitpicking, and most of it, to be honest, is for vanity's sake. Sorry, Arai. Those are just minor things anyway. So do I think it's worth the price of basically $750 US? Heck yeah! You're getting craftsmanship, handmade shells, which is an egg shape, the strongest shape in nature, great airflow, 6 intake, 3 exhaust, amazing liner, very comfortable, easy to clean, adjustable, and of course it looks retro-ish, while still having all that technology. So do you want a Contour X or any of the other Arai helmets? Check out the links in the description below. What about you? Are you a fan of Arai helmets? Let me know in the comments below. You want to know more of my thoughts on Arai helmets? Check out this link. Or if you want to know what I think about other types of gear, check out the link over here. Thanks again, guys, for checking out Cafe Racer New York City. I'll see you next time.